Sometimes you just have to do it. You just need to do it. Sometimes the creative impulse is so strong that you just have to pick up the camera and do it. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the short film I uploaded last weekend on this channel. You can check it out if you want. All you have to do is click here or at the end of the video. I'll probably link it. And it was shot completely on impulse. We just decided to make something because we were bored and we just wanted to have some fun making a film. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how I shot it, how I lit it, and some disasters that happened along the way. And hopefully it's going to be fun for you to watch and maybe even learn something if you're starting out in filmmaking. At the moment, I'm about to shoot 2 short films, just to give you some context. And those are scripted films. These are projects that are involving more people. And I'm going to shoot one in February and March and the other one in April. So those are kind of the projects that I'm focusing right now. But this one, this little short that we did last weekend, just came about, out of conversation. We were exchanging ideas because we do that a lot. And it was such a simple idea and so easy to do and so straightforward and easy to shoot that we just decided to go for it. And that is the main message I want you to take out of this video, is that you should do more and talk less. You should pick up the camera and shoot, even if it's terrible, if it turns out terrible. Just like this short that I uploaded might be terrible for a lot of people. For me it's okay, it's fun to look at. I think it looks decent. But the important thing is that you did it. You've just created legacy, especially these days on YouTube. It's going to stay there forever. So it is legacy. So just do it. Just pick up the camera and do it. Just stop finding excuses not to do what you want to do. This is very important. If you're waiting for the perfect time, the perfect script, the perfect circumstances, you're never going to do anything. And it is very important to do stuff so you make mistakes and you learn from them. You're not going to make a masterpiece on your first try. And if you do, good for you, but most of us won't. So it's very important to gain that experience and actually learn from your mistakes and do and discover things, because no matter how you imagine the film is going to be in your head, it's never going to be that way in reality. Just as with this short, we were talking about ideas and I had this all pictured out in my head, but it turned out to be different, because that's always the case when you're shooting films. It will always be different because reality and the sets where you were working at and your energy, your focus, the way actors performing, everything influences that first initial instinct and image that you had in your head. So it's also important to do stuff to learn to negotiate this compromise between vision and reality. That compromise is the secret sauce that will make great work someday for us, for you, for me, for everyone that's trying to make films. So I say again, just do it. Please just do it. Okay, so I'm going to roll some B-roll here of the shoot of this short film that we did. As you can see here, the setup is pretty basic. There was no dialogue, so all I had to do in terms of audio was to capture the ambience and the actress's movements, and that's just about it. And in terms of lighting, what I like to do in most of my lighting situations is I love to bounce light. And in this case, we wanted to make it look like it was nighttime, this moody, bluish night tone all over. So what I did was I bounced an RGB LED panel, which is actually lighting this background here that you see, and just bounced that. The bathroom where we shot, it's all white walls, so the light bounces really easily. And so basically in terms of ambience, that's what I did. And then I stuck a little tube light that I've mentioned in this channel before, a little Sunfo tube light, which is really cheap tube light. It's kind of a key lights. And I'll set that on tripod, as you can see here, and it's just aiming straight at her, because the tube light is a really soft light. It's not going to be a hard light, so it can work directly on her without introducing too much of harshness in her shadows and all that. So, and it worked out beautifully. It took me, 3 minutes to set that up, and I think it looks really, really nice. And the other shots, which I do not have much of BTS footage to show you, is basically the same thing. It's always bouncing the blue light away from the camera and having some sort of background presence in the shot. to create that contrast between, orange and teal, if you will, like this tungsten light with the bluish light of the night. And that was the secret sauce for the entire short. And that's basically it in terms of lighting. That's what we did. The very final shots where, spoilers alert, the girl sees herself in this demonic form where she's spitting out blood and all that, that was done with AI. And I was impressed with the results. This was the first time I've ever used AI to do anything. And I think it worked out really, really nicely. And that was it. It was a 2.5 hour shoot, maybe 3 hours at most. We bickered a lot between us because we always bicker a lot when we're shooting and when we're working. But that's what makes our relationship, me and Joanna, my girlfriend, so good, because we demand so much of each other. And those 2.5 hours, 3 hours were filled with tension and mishaps and all that, but it turned out in a decent product, I think. And we did have a little mishap, at least I did have a little mishap at the beginning of the shoot. I have 2 shotgun microphones, one for indoors and one for outdoors. One is a cardioid, the other one is a supercardioid or hypercardioid, I think. And sadly, when I was setting up my tripod next to the bathtub, which was filled with water, I accidentally dropped the mic on the water. And that was a big bummer because I was convinced that the mic was gone. But luckily enough, I got it out of the water as quickly as I could, and I waited it out for like 24 hours or more, and the mic was working, thankfully. And it's micing me right now, listening to it right now, so it's working perfectly. So that was the only accident we had. Sadly, not sadly, happily, it wasn't permanent, the damage. And it was just a little bit of a scare. And that's it. That's the story of this short. It was just an impulse, as I said earlier. And we had a lot of fun. And I'm making this video, as I said, mostly to encourage people to just do it and experiment. And it doesn't matter if it turns out perfectly or it turns out badly. You just have to do it and experiment and learn, make mistakes, and have fun in the process and create legacy, create a body of work that you'll shape into something really fantastic in the future. And that's my belief, and that's why I wanted to send this message out on YouTube and to the world, is just pick up your camera and do it. And if you don't have a camera, pick up your phone, because these days, not having a camera is just not an excuse anymore. Anything these days will produce a decent image, good enough to work. I spent the 90s shooting on terrible cameras or on 576p, which is equivalent to the 480p in America. It was just dreadful quality, nothing, I had to edit on VHS tapes. So yeah, don't complain. You have what you need to do to shoot a film. So just do it. Just pick up the camera and do it, and stop, making excuses to do what you want to do. That's what you need to do. And there's my redundancy right there. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you're interested in watching more short films, I have a few of them on the channel. I also have some tutorials on editing scenes and also directing dialogue scenes and all that stuff. If you're interested, it's all in the channel. And as I always say, if you've stuck this long in this video, I thank you for your attention, and I hope to see you next time. Thank you and bye.